Hey guys, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm talking about a couple books that I would like to read, and this is all the books that I have. I'm basically just going to tell you the title, the author, and then read the back for you. So the first book I have is the book that I'm currently reading, and the reason why I decided to get this book is because I've heard it was so hyped up, and I've seen so many people talk about how good this book is, and it's called It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and this is what the back says. Sometimes the one who loves you is the one who hurts you the most. Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from a small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily, but Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and link to the past she left behind. He was his kindred spirit and her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. With this bold and deeply personal novel, Colleen Hoover delivers a heart-wrenching story that breaks exciting new ground for her as a writer. It Ends With Us is an unforgettable tale of love that comes at the ultimate price. So I'm very excited about this. Like I said, I've heard it's really good, and I've also heard that the ending makes you cry, so I'm ready for that. I'm ready to get invested in all of the characters and just enjoy the story. So that's the one I'm currently reading, and it's really good so far. And if I really like that one, I will probably end up buying more of her books at some point. I want to read Ugly Love by her and November 9th. I've heard those are also very good. But this is my next book. It's called Something in the Water by Catherine Steadman. I hope I said that right. But there's actually a funny story about this book, and I will tell you about it when I get to the very last book. But this is what it says. If you could make one simple choice that would change your life forever, would you? Erin is a documentary filmmaker on the brink of a professional breakthrough. Mark, a handsome investment banker with big plans, passionately in love. They embark on a dream honeymoon to the tropical island of Bora Bora, where they enjoy the sun, the sand, and each other. Then, while scuba diving in the crystal blue sea, they find something in the water. So this seems like a romance mystery book, so I'm very excited to find out what's going to occur when they go in the water. So yeah, that's going to be a very interesting book. And then the next book I have is Tina Fey, Bossy Pants. My mom told me that this book is very funny, and I also really love Tina Fey, so I decided to get this book because my mom said that I could get 2 books yesterday. So I got the book I just talked about and this one, and then I got It Ends With Us 2 days ago. So this book sadly doesn't really have anything about it, but this is a biography on her life, so I'm very excited to read this. And like I said, my mom told me it was very funny, so I'm excited to laugh about it. It's called Chasing Failure by Ryan Leake. I actually got this book at a church event, but I feel like this book would be good for anybody because we all fail at some things. And you just need to know how to get up and try again. And I really do think that your failures make up to your success. So I'm excited to read this and find out some stuff about this guy. But this is what it says on the back. When you chase failure, you'll eventually win, or you will learn. What would you do if you knew that you could not fail? Run a marathon, go back to school, run for president, start a business? Ryan Leake decided that if he knew he could not fail, he'd try out for the NBA. So he did, and he failed. But that experience led to greater opportunities than he could have imagined. In Chasing Failure, Ryan explores why chasing failure can take us farther than chasing success ever could. He speaks to all of us with unfulfilled dreams, offering practical ideas on how to move an idea from a dream to reality, ask the right questions to create an action plan for goals, learn from past failures to step into future success, decide if your dream is worth chasing or if it's time to move on to something better, silence your inner critique that questions if you're good enough to pull it off. This is a book for the dreamers, the out-of-the-box thinkers, and the innovators who refuse to settle for the status quo. It's a book to prepare you for the day you wake up and stop being scared, the day you realize you don't have to try to fail, but you have to be willing to fail. What's a calling you've always wanted to follow? Ryan has a message of hope for you. Failure is right around the corner. Be brave enough to chase it. The good life is on the other side. I'm very excited to read this book. Like I said, I think it will have really good messages in it. So, yeah, very excited about this one. And then the next book, I'm going to say it's a little beat up only because it has been in my backpack for a while. Because when I'm all caught up with my schoolwork at school, most of my teachers don't like us being on our phones, so I pull out a book and I read. But this book I got for Christmas this past year, and I got it because I really love this show, but I haven't got to watch this part of the show yet. But it's Pretty Little Liars to Perfectionists by Sarah Shepard, and I started reading this one as well, and I'm excited to read more about it because, like I said, I love this show. And yeah, you can see it's a little beat up on the front, but it's only because it's been in my backpack for a long time. But yeah, I'm excited to read this book as well because, like I said, I love the show. And this is what it says on the back. 5 perfect girls, 1 perfect murder. In Beacon Heights, Washington, 5 high school seniors know that you don't have to be good to be perfect. Mackenzie, Ava, Caitlin, Julie, and Parker are all driven to be perfect no matter the cost. At first, these 5 girls think they have nothing in common until they discover they all hate the same person, rich, entitled Nolan, who's done terrible things to each of them. They come up with this perfect plan to murder Nolan. A hypothetical murder, of course. It's all wishful thinking. Until they wake up one morning to find that their wish came true. Nolan was killed in exactly the way they planned. The thing is, they didn't do it, so who did? Suddenly the girls are prime suspects in a murder, and they need to find the real killer before their perfect lives are ended for good. So, yeah, like I said, I'm very excited to finish this book up, and I'm on the last season of, like, the Pretty Little Liars show, and then I'm going to start this one. So I'm very excited, and as you can see, it says Pretty Little Liars The Perfectionist is on Freeform. So if you guys want to check out that show, I would suggest it, because Pretty Little Liars is just so good. So that's that book. And then the last one is, this is the one that I just finished reading. It's really good. It's called All the Water in the World by Karen Rainey. I think that's how you say your last name. Sorry if I didn't say that right. But, yeah, this book is so good. Just so you know, you probably will cry. I didn't end up crying in this book, but, I almost did. I did get a little teary-eyed at some points, though. But this is what this book is about. A stunning debut novel about a teenage girl and her mother as they grapple the first love, family secrets, and tragedy. Maddie is 16, smart, funny, and profound. She has loyal friends, a mother with whom she's unusually close, a father she's never met, devoted grandparents, and a crush on a boy named Jack. Maddie also has cancer. Living in the shadow of uncertainty, she is forced to grow up fast. All the Water in the World is the story of a family doing its best when faced with the worst. Told in the alternating voices of Maddie and her mother, Eve, the narrative moves between the family's lake house in Pennsylvania, their home in Washington, D.C., and London, where Maddie's father, Antonio, lives. Hungry for experience, Maddie stakes out her first romantic relationship, finds solace in music and art, gets involved in the battle against climate change, and tracks down her father. She continually tests the limits of her closeness with her mother, while Eve has to come to terms with the daughter she only partly knows. in a world she can't control. Voices that range from tender to weary, despairing the defiant, all the water in the world is an unforgettable portrait of the mother-daughter bond and the experience that changes us forever. So, yeah, I really recommend this book. Like I said, at the end, you probably will cry. It gets very emotional. And I will say, it is kind of a slow start in this book. But as you get into the middle of it, it gets really good. And you just want to keep turning the pages to find out what's going to happen next. So I really recommend this book to anyone. And I said I was going to tell you the story about these two. I have had this book for a couple years, and I haven't really been into reading like for a long time, and I just recently got into reading this year, so that's why I have all of these books. But yeah, I read this for my second book project in English for this year, which isn't for a couple months, but I wanted to get a head start on reading my book now so that I wouldn't have to worry about it later. So yeah, so I couldn't really remember the title of this book, and whenever I would try and look it up, I would look up the title for this book. I would look up Something in the Water, because I knew that the title had something to do with water, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was. So I just thought it was so funny that I would always look up this book, and I'm like, that's not the right book. Why do I keep looking that up? So we were at Goodwill yesterday, and that's where I got these two. And I saw this book, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are the chances that I find the book that I think was the other book? So I decided that I was going to get this and read it, because it sounded good to me, and I just like thought it was a funny story of the title. So yeah, I have a lot more at my dad's house, but these are just the ones that I have for right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.